So here we are in an open area.
Yes,
There's a playground.
This is Gore Creek. This is the entrance to Gore Creek Reserve, and you'll see the wonderful sandstone, the Sydney sandstone, and many of the trees, including
Beautiful.
of course, angofras.
Are these native trees?
They are indeed. Most of them are. Yes. You'll see the pitostrum there, which is beautiful, has a beautiful flower and a beautiful scent. Isn't actually truly native to this particular area, but wherever we see them by the water, we usually keep them. So there's a little bit of a grey area sometimes with plants.
This is a beautiful area.
It is.
You must get so much out of doing this every day.
Enormous amounts, yes. Because it's physically quite demanding sometimes. We're sometimes clinging on to banks and hanging off quite high, steep places. It's often quite difficult because we might be working in rain or a little bit of wind sometimes, or sometimes it's baking hot. But generally it's very comfortable work. The people that we work with and for make sure that we're not going to be in great amounts of discomfort, and they're very careful that they don't give us the same work all the time, because sometimes it can be quite monotonous. And the danger of monotony in this business is that if you're in a kind of zombie state, you might pull out that one plant that is a native, and from that one plant you can get lots of other native plants. If you pull it out, you've lost that whole possibility of a plant community.
I noticed when I was walking up to see you, I got a little bit out of breath. How fit do you have to be to do this job?
Well, I'm not fit. I don't profess to be fit.
Pretty good to me.
But it's because we do 4 hours a day. We don't do any more than four hours, and that's because a lot of us are people in our 60s and 70s, and the whole idea of the group, as well as giving a very good systematic service for the bush, in other words, we're here for the bush, we're also here to give good employment to perhaps older people who don't want to work full-time, also people that may want to travel, and they can always go and travel for a few months and then come back, and their job in the main will be here. So it's very flexible, and of course a lot of people have been here from the very beginning, and some people have worked in this reserve for many years. I've only worked here for about 10 years myself, but I've been with the co-op for 12. Mangroves.
So these are all mangroves across here.
We see ducks and all sorts of interesting birds around here. And this is all part of our reserve, this is all part of our work. And,
is this all part of the harbour?
It's all part of the harbour, yes.
So this would all be salt water?
Yes.
Beautiful.
So as you can see, it's quite steep, and so we have to climb the one, which is very good for certain parts of the body. This isn't a really healthy job for the knees. So if you've got weak knees, you have to be very careful.
Stunning.
You're also going to have good eyesight in this job, because sometimes you're working in quite shady areas, and some plants look different in different lights. So sometimes it's quite good to maybe change angles and look again, because sometimes weeds can hide and look quite different in different kinds of light. So the great thing about the job is, although it's physical, it's also mental as well, because you're constantly thinking, now is that? It looks very similar to that plant, but it isn't the same. What's the difference? You can look at the leaf venation, you can look at the stem, you can look at the leaves, or alternate. A different flower could be a key, a clue to the flower. This plant, maybe you've never seen before, maybe it's a whole new plant. And the great thing about bush regeneration, one, it's miraculous in the sense that you keep going back and back and back and weeding, and then one day you come and it's all native bush. And the second thing is you'll find plants that haven't been seen in this reserve, probably not since records were kept. Because there's a sort of bush telegraph that happens when you remove suffocating, strangulating weeds from around natives, that somehow they seem to communicate to the seedbed that it's okay to come out. It's safe. Can
you tell me about the co-op, please?
I got a job with Bradley and May. Now the Bradley sisters actually sort of invented bush regenerating in the mid-80s. And when I retired from full-time work, there was a lot of weeds in the bush opposite to my house, and so I thought I would like to learn something about bush regenerating, and I did a course with Bradley and May on Saturday afternoons, and at the end of the course they offered me a traineeship, and so I took it, and I worked about 8 hours a week for $7.50 an hour. Of course, we're talking about 1989, 1990, and when the Bradley and May organisation folded up, because Tony May, who was running it, was quite old, and the people who worked for her didn't want to give up work. But the contracts had come to an end and were about to be renewed, and so we decided that we'd form a cooperative, which we did by going to the appropriate government department of Parramatta. They were very helpful. They helped us write a constitution and aims and objectives, and so we set up this cooperative, and we tendered for 4 contracts with Lane Cove Council. No one had ever tendered for a contract before, and we won 3 of them.
It's been going strong since then.
And it's been going strong since 1991.
Amazing.
And for the first 10 years of it, I was the manager. And I was only appointed the manager because I was previously the manager of a clothing factory, which has absolutely nothing to do with being the manager of a bush regenerating
So you got the job simply because you were a manager elsewhere. Richard, you've written your own Christmas carols, haven't you, for the co-op?
I have indeed.
Let's hear one.
Don't rest ye merry weeders, don't put your tools away. Remember weeds will germinate even on Christmas Day. So bag the seeding annuals before they go astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. There is no rest for weeders, the Ipamere will run, and overtake and redderer and cardiospermum. So get down on your knees, my friend, and weed till kingdom come. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. The weeds blow in from gardens, the birds they do their bit. High up on those dead branches they sit up there, and a grove of Ochner underneath it really makes you spit. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Brilliant. What talent.